Sam, since you brought up skinny dipping in Lake Hamilton,
I did not bring that up. They asked me a question. I don't even know where Lake Hamilton skinny dipping place is.
okay, all right. Now, I just wanted to. You seem to be in great spirits. So, what's the week been like for you and the team? And your guys are winning awards on a daily basis, and just such a high right now with what's going on with your program.
Well, I've said it, before. We had to get healthy this week. We're so happy with the guys who came in and helped the football team and helped themselves when we were, had injuries. But our depth, honestly, guys, going into some of these games was, I didn't know if I might need to suit up, and that wouldn't be good. And so we had to get healthy, and we have done that. 3 days of non-contact, basically. We've been in helmets, no pads, but we are preparing for Texas A&M. We've done that now for 2 practices. It will be again today, but it's just non-physical practices. But we'll practice about an hour and a half. I believe that we'll have, besides the injuries that have been season-ending injuries, I think we'll be pretty close to full tilt come Monday.
Jason.
Hey, Coach, so much has been made about the back 7 or 8, but the job the defensive line has done to set those guys up. Can you speak to what the 3 or 4 guys, depending on which scheme you're in, have done for you guys this year to kind of set everybody else up on the back end?
Coach O'Brien has really got those guys playing well, and you have to give, obviously, credit to the guys playing. But, we talked about going into Mississippi State and their 5 against our 3 advantage Arkansas. We didn't say you had to get the guy on the ground. You just got to move him. You can't let him just stand there. He'll pick us apart. And they did a very nice job. They did a really good job for 2.5 quarters against Georgia. And those guys, coming in here, obviously we want to have bigger guys and this, that, and other, but we have enough size, with Kelly in there at times and Eric Gregory. And, of course, Jonathan Marshall's playing, as good as you can, as any of us would have thought. And then Coach had a little bit better game. You finally saw him last weekend have some success. So, Zach Williams. There's a lot of those guys, and Soley, and so there's a lot of those guys that are playing well. We rotate them, we keep them fresh, and we feel like we have pretty good depth there, especially when we're playing a 3-man line. So, been really pleased with those guys. And if you look at a majority of our picks, the quarterback was moved some way or another or pressured.
Bob.
Yeah, Sam, are you guys like off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or kind of what are you doing with the players? And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Did you want to ask another one too? Or?
I was going to say, if you told them, hey, you need to stick around campus, or still got to stay in the COVID protocols, or kind of how does that go when you give guys some free time?
Well, they have they have practice today, and then they have morning lift Friday. And then they have obviously academic obligations. And then after that, they're completely off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we come back from 6 to 8. Sunday night is a little bit of academics from 6 to 7 for some of the team. And then from 6 to 8 is our COVID test. We've had off. I'm not positive what the difference is in a 3:00 game, and you win a game, and the kids are out of here by 7:30 on a Saturday night versus them going wherever they're going. The greatest thing that happens, sort of like, remember when steroids was in college athletics, and basically the NCAA said if you get tested positive for anabolic steroids, you're out. Well, it stopped it. And it's kind of the same way with this COVID virus. the bottom line is our kids know if they get COVID that they're basically out for 2 games. And so they understand that. They've been good at it. I see no reason for us to sit here and what will we do with them? You know, sit here and have them sit around in the stadium or something. We're just going to trust them.
Scotty.
Hey, Coach, Hudson Clark's parents have told me that down to earth is probably the best way to describe him. I'm wondering if you would consider that accurate.
Yeah, I consider that accurate. He's very quiet, very modest young man. I think he's taken all this stuff in stride. I mean, he's gotten enough awards this week, but I see on my sheet of paper that he is one of the 3 Boss Hog Scholars of the Week that we give out each week. So that adds to his resume for this week as well.
Hutch.
Sam, I know you said that a lot of your younger guys are getting developmental work on Saturdays, but I'm wondering during this off week, have you been able to do much developmental work with the guys that haven't played much this year?
We have not. And I could lie to you, I could whatever, but we haven't. And that's probably the most disappointing thing, unless you count scout team work, which I do, but has not been pads. So we did not take advantage of that part of it to this point. We're not going to this week. We just made a decision that we needed to keep our team healthy. And I'm talking about from 1 to 4 on the depth chart, because trust me, it's 6 weeks in a row, you're going to need them. And, if you look at our roster and you go, okay, well, you have to have 53 scholarship guys. We could get wiped out by COVID at a few positions, but the likelihood of us not playing with the criteria that the SEC has set, I mean, it could happen, but probably very unlikely. Therefore, we may play with some of these 3s and 4s and things of that nature, which we have. And so we just decided that staying healthy was more important than anything else this week.
Trey.
Hey, Coach. I had a question about Trey Knox. Is he dealing with something right now, an injury or something? And what do you hope to get out of him, to see out of him in the next 6 games?
No, I think he's doing really well. No, he's not injured at all. And he's doing a fine job and those things, but no injury or anything of that nature. We've got a wide receiver room that's very competitive in there. And at this day and time, that's, whatever his reps that he's getting is where he is on the depth chart at this point in time.
Hi.
Sam, you brought up it's kind of nice this week that a lot of times coaches during bye weeks, they give their freshmen and sophomores, some of the younger guys, a lot more reps. You don't really have to do that because a lot of your guys have gotten reps. How beneficial is it, and I know you dealt with a multitude of injuries, but how beneficial is it that a lot of your younger guys have gotten game reps to this point in the season?
Yeah, it's really huge. And if you really look at it, there's some disappointment with some of the freshmen in that, hey, coach, can I talk to you? I'm not where I want to be on the depth chart and that things of that nature, because there's so many other freshmen that have been forced into playing. And so we've dealt a little bit with that just simply because my roommate over here, he's getting to play and I'm not, it's just been a little bit different than probably what you might think in the SEC. And that's a good thing. We were able to talk to him and things of that nature, but we have had several young kids that have been able to play on Saturday. So again, we just decided, hey, we're going to get as healthy as we possibly can.
Nikki.
Coach, you played a walk-on Jackson Woodard on Saturday, and you have several other, new freshman linebackers at that position. So I'm wondering, how's the development of Keelan Burrell, JT Towers, and Jashad Stewart, and those guys coming along? And what do they need to do to see the field?
Well, I think all of those guys are doing a good job. Jashad, he's getting a lot of special teams action, but he's had a hamstring, so that's stopped his progress a little bit. Even though I think he's healthy now, Woodard he was able to play a little bit because that's where he is on the depth chart. Some guys just develop faster than others, and the worst thing you want to do is you really don't want to put a young man out there that's not ready. You can ruin him. You can ruin his confidence. You can physically, and so those guys just are a little bit behind Woodard right now. And obviously, I'd rather look at it as a compliment for Woodard than a detriment, for those other two kids. Young guys just develop at different speeds, and we're happy all of them's here.
Bob.
Hey, Sam, I'm guessing you must have been to College Station once or twice in your Big 12 days. Do you know how many times you've coached a game down there? And do you know Jimbo very well?
I do know Coach Fisher fairly well. I have a lot of respect for him and everywhere he's been, and those things. I think the last time, I can't remember. I know we went to College Station when I was at Oklahoma because they beat us, and Coach Ryan and I were walking off the field, and Rex took his hat off, and he said, "Well, I guess I'm not going to be needing this anymore," and he threw it into the stands. And then in the paper it said Rex Ryan throwing his hat in the ringer for the next head coaching job at Oklahoma. So all the man did is took his hat off and threw it in, and the media really jumped on top of that. But we've been down there. It's a neat deal, especially pregame when they march everybody in there. Hopefully, they don't get to kiss each other as much as they normally do, not because of COVID, but because they're not scoring.
Scotty.
Hey, Coach, I was wondering what you thought about Hayden Henry and what he's kind of brought to the field the last couple of games and in terms of his playmaking.
Didn't he play well? I mean, he really did. He played really well. He's he's kind of a throwback a little bit. He's kind of a wild-eyed, kind of a crazy kid. In a good way. He gonna hit you, and he gonna tell me about it. And he keeps telling me, "Coach, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do." And I said, "Hey, dude, I got the best. I can go anywhere from the 15 to 15. I got the best seat in the house, so I'll be at the game. You just show it to me." And we kid back and forth, but he's played really well, and honestly, it's given me more confidence in that group of linebackers. And I thought he played a really good game against Ole Miss.
Hutch.
Sam, I wanted to ask you about another young guy. I mean, I know he's got several older guys in front of him, but Darren Turner got kind of a lot of praise early on in camp. I mean, how is he looking, and maybe what does he need to do? What would you like to see from him to maybe get some playing time this year?
Well, he has to improve. He has. He improved so much that I traveled him last week. But he is where he is on the depth chart right now. He's got to catch the ball a little bit better, learn the offense a little bit better. Those things. Again, he's a freshman. So he's going to come on, I believe, and I believe he'll be a very, very good wide receiver for us, and been really pleased with his growth, both on and off the field since he's been here.
Trey.
Yeah, Coach, I assume you guys are going to get Monteric back soon, and he was playing pretty well before he was injured. And then you have Hudson playing well. Have you guys talked about what to do at that position, whether you shift things around or you just rotate those guys? Or
I saw all three of them out there yesterday in practice at the same time. So, you know, Trey, you know how it is. We're going to play our best 11 players and try to figure out how we can stop people. Play our best 11 players on offense and see how we see if we can score more points than normal. But if those guys are three of our top 5 players in those 3 safeties, 2 corner look, well, then we're going to have them all on the field at the same time.
Yeah, Coach, kind of to Trey's point, thinking about next week, I know y'all probably put a little of this stuff, but looking at what Isaiah Spiller has done so far this season, this is going to be kind of a different offense that you guys have faced than compared to all season long, a little bigger than usual. And a lot of what y'all have done to this point has been zone and dropping back and playing a lot of passing teams. Is this one of those weeks where Barry's going to have to change up what he's been doing heading into Texas A&M next weekend?
Well, to your point about Spiller, the guy's incredible. I mean, he's playing really, really well. And they've got 5 returning starters on the O-line. I mean, they're a good football team, you know, a really good football team. And then, of course, Mond, you know, has been there since 1922. The guy, is he ever going to graduate and get out of there? I mean, he's been there forever, but and what a really good player he is. Yeah, you know, the bottom line, good offensive and good defensive coordinators and good special teams and good head coaches, what they do is they adjust to give themselves the best chance to win, because make no mistake about it is we're not going out there for respect. We're not going out there for anybody to say we play hard. We're going out to win. And so our game plan has to give our kids the best chance to do that. And if you really look at Barry Odom and the defense of what they've done in the 4 different games, it has been somewhat similar in some ways, Ole Miss and Mississippi State, certainly much different, Auburn and Georgia. So we'll come up with the best game plan possible for us to have a chance to win a football game. So long answer to tell you, yeah, we'll have to figure out whatever that front is that starts, you know, whether we're going to play a 3 or 4-man front to start it, and then what all the auxiliaries around that, we'll have to figure out what tendencies they have at A&M and try to exploit that situation.
I know if you have more in the chat. Nikki?
Coach, Marcus Henderson, what have you thought of the job he's doing at tight end? And is there a possibility of him, I don't know, moving back to the offensive line this season, or you like him where he is?
Nikki, you've been at practice, Nikki. I think she's
not.
sneaking in, Kyle. Marcus has played more offensive line this week. We still have him at tight end because we need him, especially for depth there. To be honest with you, Nikki, he's practiced both spots every day, which has helped him because he knows the offense, you know, quite well. But we have moved him back in the meetings to Coach Davis's meeting in the O-line. He was meeting all the time at tight end and then playing O-line when he wasn't playing tight end. Now he's meeting with the O-line and playing tight end when he's not playing O-line. So we just kind of reversed it a little bit. But he's done a really nice job. He's a smart kid. Really proud of him. He's going to be a good player.
Last one, Bob.
Yeah, Sam, I was just wondering what your weekend plans are.
I'm gonna go to Hot Springs, and we've got a place down there, and so I'm gonna take Jamie, and we're gonna go down there and have some fun and get out on the boat probably tomorrow and watch football on Saturday and come back Sunday morning.
But no skinny dipping.
You know, I'm just not for sure that'd be a positive look for the state of Arkansas. And I mean the entire state of Arkansas. You know, if I'm representative, wouldn't be too good.